Good morning. It is Friday again, and we are here at the Legacy Changemaker broadcast to celebrate yet again another beautiful human being. We are here to celebrate, yes, to connect and to inspire each other to do better for people, for prosperity, for hope, for peace, and for the planet. So today, but before I tell you about today, let me ask you to interact with us. We are here live with you, and we would love to have your comments, to have your questions. So please do not hesitate to write in the comment section your questions, and we will make sure that our Changemaker today will answer them. So thank you very much for being with us, and let's discover who is our Changemaker. So today, our Changemaker is Abdul-Rahman Iddrisu. He's from Ghana, and he is the inspiration of Sarah Kotopoulos. Sarah is on a daily basis inspired by Abdul-Rahman. So let me tell you a little bit about him. Abdul-Rahman Iddrisu is the executive director of BRAVEAURORA, an NGO in Ghana. And he took this position at the age of only 27. He has a master's in non-governmental organizational management and in rural development. And in addition to all the work that he's doing, he's also Ashoka's Future Forward Program Scholar. Right, Abdul?
Yes.
Yes. And he's passionate about children protection, child protection, women empowerment, and rural development. He lives and he works so that all children find love and protection in family settings. And the topic of our conversation with Abdul today is HelpLess. Please, HelpLess. And we will be talking about volunteerism and orphanages in northern Ghana. But before we do that, let me tell you what Sarah Kotopoulos told me about Abdul. And I'm going to quote, Abdul-Rahman inspired me from the very first day we met. He's a world-class frontliner in child protection in Ghana, and his fresh and uncommonly powerful ideas have great value and great impact on desperately poor people in rural areas. What an inspiration you are, Abdul. Welcome. Nice having you here with us. How are you?
Thank you very much, Biliana. I feel wonderful today, and it's a true honor to be on the program.
I'm so happy. And I'm so happy that we have our first male. Up to now, we've had only women. And we have the first male who is here to empower women. Isn't this wonderful? We need you, men. Thank you. So let me start our conversation by asking you why you're doing what you're doing.
All right, wonderful, Biliana. I first of all want to start by saying that I've listened to such wonderful and inspiring women so far, and I must say it's incredible what they do and what they continue to do for humanity. And I want to thank you very much for providing this platform. Sarah gave me such a glowing recommendation, but to be honest, she and all the wonderful and beautiful women at BRAVEAURORA continue to inspire me daily as well. And they just give me the fuel power to go the extra mile and do what I do. Back to the question of why, I think it's children.
Mm-hmm.
Children, I feel a secret responsibility towards them. And we know that children are the future leaders. And an investment in children is an investment in a better, safer, more sustainable future. When you invest in children, you make the world a better place. But there are so many problems that children face, and it has been my lifelong mission to support children and to prevent them from abuse, exploitation, and harm. But if you look at the context in the northern parts of Ghana, there is one particular prominent problem that children face, and across the world as well, that we at BRAVEAURORA seek to solve or help solve.
And what is it?
Across the globe, exactly, across the globe, there are 8 million children in so-called orphanages. I will tell you why they are so-called orphanages. Because 80% of these children in the so-called orphanages have a living parent. They are mostly in the orphanages due to poverty, discrimination, or disability. People set up orphanages as a social good, even finding it necessary. But what we have come to find out is that orphanages separate children from families and from communities. There's a powerful African proverb that the child who is not embraced by the village will set the village on fire to feel its warmth.
Ah, that is so beautiful.
This
A
is
child.
sobering. This
Mhm.
is sobering and deep. But there is statistics to back that. Research has shown that institutionalized children are 40 times likely to commit a crime, and they are 500 times more likely to take their own lives. This is unacceptable, and this is what we work against.
Ooh, this gave me some shivers. I didn't know this. This is sad. Okay, so can you tell us a little bit um, around the concept of volunteerism? When we introduced the topic of our chat today, we said that you'll be talking about volunteerism. So, what is it, and what is the impact it has?
Yes. So volunteerism is a twin word from volunteering and also tourism. So when the two words come together, volunteerism. Volunteerism is a growing trend, and across the world today, there are over 1.6 million people who volunteer overseas yearly, and they contribute to a trend worth $3 billion. A substantial amount of these volunteers work in orphanages. Voluntaries or orphanage volunteers might have the best intentions, but what we get to find out is that they are actually causing harm. So it is possible to have the best intentions, but still cause harm. When you look at orphanages and orphanage settings, especially large institutions, the one-to-one care is often lacking in the homes. So when a volunteer visits a home for a few weeks or a couple of months, they come to the child and make the child feel loved, give the child attention, and then in no time, they leave the child and then they bring in such a deep, deep sadness in the child. So voluntaries and volunteers evoke these roller coaster feelings among children. And this is not good for their psychosocial development and for their growth and well-being in general.
Thank you for clarifying it so simply, and thank you for really bringing the topic of feelings and how kids get attached to the people who come and help them, and then of course feel sad and left uh, and lonely when those people leave. I think this is so important to acknowledge and to work to improve it. So thank you very much. So instead of volunteerism, what are the options?
Yes. So at BRAVEAURORA, what we do is to provide appropriate family-based care for children. We work with partners such as the Department of Social Welfare and UNICEF and other local NGO partners to provide appropriate family-based care for children. And this could be kinship care or foster care. Now, what we do is that we try to close homes, as in supporting the deinstitutionalization agenda and also trying to support homes to transition towards family-based care. And also, we try to offer the proper reintegration of children with families. What we also try to do is to spread word on family-based care, just as we do on our Young Ambassadors program, which is a flagship program made of caregivers and care leavers who go out there to communities, sit on radio, and they just educate people on the dangers of institutional care. And also, we are against making children a tourist attraction. So,
Mm.
because orphanage tourism fuels the harvesting of children in large scale into institutions without care for the necessity and suitability principles. So, we think that volunteers, instead of working in orphanages, can channel their resources and expertise into areas where they have knowledge and where they can truly contribute.
I heard you saying about two principles. You mentioned two principles. Can you please explain those two principles to our audience and why are they important and how are they applied?
All right. So the necessity and suitability principles are two important pillars in child protection, and they are founded in the guidelines on the alternative care of children, which draws from conventions and other treaties such as the 1989 United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. And I'm
Mhm.
very happy sitting here today to say that Ghana was the first country to ratify the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child,
Mm.
even though we still have a long way to go in child protection, but efforts have been made. So the necessity and suitability principles are both gatekeeping mechanisms.
Mhm.
What the necessity principle seeks to do is that through a rigorous assessment procedure, it tries to assess whether it is really necessary to place a child or a young person into an institution. Then the suitability principles looks at this in twofolds. One, it asks the question, is the care setting fit to look after the child?
Mhm.
And then the second is that, does the setting meet the needs of the child? And in
Mhm.
all of this, participation of the child is intrinsic to the decision-making process.
I understand now. I understand. So what you're saying is that we do need to take care of, is it suitable to put a young person, a child, in an institution? Will he get what he needs or she gets what she needs there? And is it necessary? And if it's not necessary and if it's not suitable, let's do something else about it, right?
Exactly.
Okay, I got it. Thank you so much. Thank you for explaining this. Now, what are the alternatives? Tell us a little bit about the successes you've managed to achieve in your work.
Okay. All right. So, as I said, at BRAVEAURORA, we have a wonderful team of social workers who just go out there to make life better for children. And so far, we have provided psychosocial support to over
Mhm.
600 reintegrated children and young people. We have also supported the reintegration and the sustenance of the reintegration of over 200 children and young people in the northern regions of Ghana. And I mentioned earlier that most children go into institutions due to poverty. Now, by trying to fight this underlying cause of separation, we came out with family strengthening programs, such as the Livelihood Promotion Program, which seeks
Mhm.
to give vocational skills trainings to reintegrating families and to men and women so that they can take care of children and to prevent separation. So, in effect, we try to tackle the root causes of separation. Also, we have so far supported a host of young people through education. Now, I give you a story of one of our care leavers. She's called
Mhm.
Mariam. Mariam
Okay.
came to the home at the age of 9 with no prospects for quality education. She was reunified in 2013, and the question on her mind and that of her caregivers were that, is she going to climb up the ladder? What are the prospects for her after reunification? And that is where BRAVEAURORA stepped in and told her, no, you are not alone. We are in this together. So BRAVEAURORA provided Mariam with the she health assistance she needs, with educational and psychosocial support from BRAVEAURORA. This helped Mariam to gain some agency and to become an agent of change under our Young Ambassadors program. And now, Mariam, together with others, go to communities to talk about the dangers of institutional care. Mariam is now in a prestigious university in northern Ghana studying hospitality and catering. She is a role model. And what we find is that it is cheaper to invest in programs that keep families together. And supporting one girl, you support so many. And this is what we call the multiplier effect at BRAVEAURORA.
Ah, amazing, amazing. I also heard that you don't only support the young people, you support their parents and you train them. Can you talk a little bit to what kind of training do you provide for the parents so that they're able to afford their kids?
Yes. So we provide vocational skills training, such as soap making,
Okay.
cosmetics, batik tie and dye. We have tailoring, carpentry, and a host of others. We complement this with financial literacy training, so they learn things such as savings, and they are able to distinguish between their needs and wants. And then we also just provide financial mentoring to the parents.
Great. And what about resistance? Do sometimes parents refuse to be reintegrated with their kids? How do you work around this?
Yes, it happens that sometimes people do not want to be reintegrated. And we see that it is a fear that often is valid. When you get used to a particular environment and situation, and then something has to change about it, then you know that this is scary. I don't want to jump into this. What should I look forward to? But we face it on a daily. What we try to do is to keep engaging the people, tell them the benefits, and tell them what they stand to obtain when they are with families and when they have their children with them.
Amazing, really amazing. Helping families afford their kids and helping them with the resistance of, will I be able to even reintegrate them back, is so special. Now, we've discussed briefly about the successes of BRAVEAURORA and the work that you're doing together with all the other people and the team that is supporting poor people in rural Ghana. Can you please tell us a little bit about the failures? What have you not achieved yet? And what are you failing to really put into place?
Yes. At BRAVEAURORA, I would say we kind of celebrate failure because we find it an integral part of the success equation. So failure is part of the success equation. When you fail, you learn and you rise with these lessons that you have learned and you add it to your experience to do better next time. So we have been in this reunification business for quite a while now in northern Ghana. But what you find is that, which is a real challenge, is that there are still around 20 orphanages or so-called orphanages, residential homes for children in the north, with some 500 children institutionalized. Most of these homes can be closed or can transition towards other services, but it is not happening. Nonetheless, we are working continuously towards this. Now, there's an interesting story also I want to talk about, and it has to do with failure. One time we had a workshop with former proprietors of orphanages. So these are orphanages that got closed down. And we were just trying to take a step back to look at their documentation on the children that they housed. And we asked them, um, do you have adequate documentation on the children? A lot of them said no. And some raised their hands and they said, yeah, they don't have it because they set them on fire. It came as a surprise to us. Why would anyone set documents on fire when it's really critical for programming? And they said, we set it on fire because of you. We were
Really?
shocked. What?
Mm-hmm.
And they said, yes, because of you, because you told everyone that institutional care is not good for children. They have to be in their family. So in a fit of rage, we set them on fire. Then we said, okay, um, I think this is something we can all learn from, because we could have also tried to engage more with them so we are on the same level. We know that it is really difficult, but then it takes time and the process is slow, but it's really helpful to bring everyone on board.
Oh, that is such a wonderful story with such a great learning. It takes
Mhm.
time, but it's really important to bring everyone on board. Well done. Well done. So, the topic of our chat today is HelpLess. So, can you please give our audience some tips on how they indeed can help less?
Thank you. So, as it was rightly captioned, we try to help less so that we are able to help more. What we find out is that as humans, we try to fashion solutions equal to the problem we perceive. This often leads us into thinking that most issues are unsolvable. We know that the orphanage issue is complex. And it's actually a myth that the orphanage crisis is unsolvable. There is
Mhm.
good news. It is actually very solvable, and it starts with the individual. And it is also one of the things that humanity might be able to solve in our lifetimes. Okay,
So, you are
when
saying it
next time,
starts with the individual. Okay, so
exactly.
let's
Next
talk to
time,
the
you,
individuals, beautiful
oh,
individuals out there. We are talking to you. Abdul-Rahman Iddrisu is talking to you. Go ahead, Abdul.
exactly, exactly. Next time you are pumped to support, you have the fire to support, please stop, reflect before you ask, before you act. Ask yourself, am I contributing to a solution or adding to a problem? Do I have the expertise? Are there local experts that can be supported to do what I want to do? If you ask yourself these questions, you can get clarity and you can know where to channel your support.
Beautiful. Really simple questions. Ask
Yes,
yourself, do you have the expertise? Ask yourself, are there local experts that you could support in a different way? And ask yourself, are you contributing to a solution or are you contributing to a problem? There we go. We can all help less once we reflect more. Thank you. That's amazing, Abdul. So, what is the general call to action that you would like to invite our audience to take action on?
yes. So I will start my call to action by quoting this poignant African proverb. And it's that you cannot tell a hungry child that you gave her food yesterday.
So, you cannot tell a hungry child that you gave them food yesterday. Very,
Exactly.
very okay.
This is why we need to continue making those critical steps. We cannot stop until orphanages are relegated to the backgrounds of history. What specifically we need to do is to support projects that strengthen and keep families together. This should be done either in kind or in cash. On this journey, we need more voices. We need to be heard, and the message has to be amplified. Next time you are committed to supporting, direct your resources towards community and family-based interventions. Thank you.
Ah, this is just so beautiful. Support projects that strengthen and keep families together. Direct your resources, be it financial or in kind, to community or family interventions. Thank you for spelling it out so loud and so clearly. Thank you, Abdul-Rahman. This is really something I appreciate it a lot. So, I think this is it with the chat, with our chat. Thank you so much for being with us. It has been eye-opening for me, and I want to wish you, your family, your community, the kids that you're working with, the families that you're working with, and all the people that you inspire and you have been inspired by, a lot of success, a lot of great health, and a lot of burning fire to do less, to be able to help more. Thank you very much. And
Thank
to
you.
all our viewers out there, we'll see you next Friday, same time. Who has inspired Abdul? This is going to be revealed next week. So keep an eye on the channel and have a wonderful Friday, a wonderful weekend, and do HelpLess. Goodbye.